the moment Trump got in office, it just seemed safer. You know, you had a lot of these migrants now leaving New York City and going up to Canada. You know, Mayor Adams said, hey, we're stopping all the free debit cards, you know, whatever, the $13,000 per month they get, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But all this has changed where it just seems lighter. And, you know, and just yesterday, Elon and Vivek being appointed to head of the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, not knowing if you're actually going to get to the end result or not. That is the same way in success. That is the same way in business. You just constantly grind until one day it just happens. One day you get over the hump, you tip, it just, you're building, and then all of a sudden, it tips over, and now you are on the up. Do you have what it takes to just grind away for 13 years, not knowing if what you want is actually going to happen? See, that's where a lot of people fail, right? Not in the context of basketball where you're 4 or 5 years old, don't really understand what's going on. But year one, you have setbacks. Do you quit or you keep going? Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the End-to-End Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Yun Win, affectionately called Ninja or Prolific Ninja by my family and friends. And because my fans are my friends, you can call me Ninja too. This is the End-to-End Podcast, the Alpha to the Omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, drive, success, self-improvement, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Still toying with that motto. I've been using that for 2.5 years. I kind of still like the idea of all the dots are around, but connecting them for you. I don't know. You let me know. Put them in the comments below or message me or whatever. In any case, back in the studio, man, what a monumental time that the country is going through. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But before we get into the podcast, I want to start off as I start my day. If you're new to the show, when I open my eyes in the morning, I thank God and the universe for allowing me another day to have an opportunity to be great and hopefully inspire somebody to live to their fullest controllable potential. It only takes just one person, and then it keeps me going and going and going. So with that, I want to thank you all for listening, supporting, and sharing and following the show. I do this on my own dime, on my own time. I spend a lot of money, got my crew here, as you all know, and so no sponsors. It's just us. And so this is my way of giving back. You know, if you're new to the show, I'm a doctor, a lawyer, entrepreneur, have a law firm, been helping thousands of clients over the years, over 20 plus years. With millions of dollars in settlements, have a technology company in healthcare, have a crypto company, have a variety of projects ongoing. And so with that, the only way we grow this show and the only way I can fulfill my personal mission of sharing knowledge and information and giving back to you is if you all share the show. So we do this on a value exchange. If you learned something, felt something was powerful, got moved in any way, felt this might be good for somebody else, this episode or any other episode, please do share the show. I like to say if you're knowledgeable, share the show. And if you know me, you know I'm all about karmic balance. So if you got value, don't owe me a karmic debt by not sharing the show. You want to rebalance that so you can grow from it. So share the show. If you're knowledgeable, share the show. That's how we grow. So, a lot of topics today specifically, and this is not a political podcast. This is more of a success-oriented podcast, so I don't want to hit the politics too hard. But man, ever since Trump and the red wave took over the country, 312 electoral votes, confirmed now the House, the Senate, potential Supreme Court vacancies, and just things feel different. The business environment, the business climate feels different. And I'm not talking about, deranged individuals on the left and the right going crazy over the election, shaving their heads and, doing all these things. I'm just talking about that part of the middle, which used to be more Democratic, but now it includes, they've moved now to be Republican. But, just that environment, the business environment, it seems just a lot more optimistic. Bitcoin, crazy, all new high. Just checked before the show, and this is being recorded on a Thursday. A Wednesday before this episode will actually air. But 92,000 all-time high. Crypto off the charts, stocks off the charts. The dollar seems to be getting stronger. Just the business momentum, the regulatory environment of of the I shouldn't say regulatory. I say the anticipated regulatory environment. Presuming Trump makes it all the way and his administration makes it all the way to January, still a lot left and still a lot of left of chaos to be had. But assuming he gets to that point, the regulatory and climate allowing for business to happen and reduction of waste and reduction of regulations and reduction of just things in the way of common sense business. Everything seems to be just a little bit more optimistic all around. The guys in my car group, guys and gals, talking very positively about the future. My inner circle of friends and family, very positive about the future. Just are out and about, very positive outlook for the future. So very, very, very peculiar. I didn't expect it to be like this so quick. But of course, you have just these announcements after announcements. Trump, if you follow on X, he gives these little snippets, like 5 to 10 minutes of what he's going to do. And a lot of that, I think, has created the anticipation of a strong U.S., a strong U.S. economy, a strong U.S. military, a strong U.S. Patriotism, actually. And so that in itself has fostered this optimism. I saw a video of a somebody posted, a resident out of New York, and how he says as the moment Trump got in office, it just seemed safer. You had a lot of these migrants now leaving New York City and going up to Canada. Mayor Adams said, "Hey, we're stopping all the free debit cards. Whatever the $13,000 per month they get, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but all this has changed where it just seems lighter." And just yesterday, Elon and Vivek being appointed to head of the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, Dogecoin. That's why that thing's going off the charts. So it just feels different. But regardless of which side of the political aisle you lean, regardless of who won the election, whether you supported it or not, or whatever the case, the key here is to adapt and move on. We cannot change things that have happened in the past. You have to adapt and move on. Nothing in life is a definitive stop. So we have ups and downs all along the way, but you got to keep consistently moving forward, regardless of the environment. If this is a negative for you, you have to understand, okay, it is what it is. How do I make the best of the situation? If this is a positive for you, you got to think it is what it is. How do I optimize and maximize the situation? You see what I'm saying? So regardless, the politics we can't control. I mean, we can vote, but overall, we cannot control anything. So you got to determine how this affects your life, adapt, and move forward. And that brings me to a very, very important day today as I'm recording this on Wednesday, November 13th. And that it kind of ties into the politics part. Today is National Signing Day, the first day you can sign if you are a D1 Division I athlete. Okay, so all you people in high school moving forward into a Division I sports program, today's your first day you can sign. And if you are one of those athletes, which Nathan, my son, is a basketball player committed to play at Sam Houston State, mid-major, won Conference USA last year. Very strong program, very great coaches, coaches that care, coaches that really believe in their athletes and so forth. Not that other coaches don't, but it's a very business-like atmosphere in several campuses. But today's National Signing Day, and so for all you athletes out there, congratulations. You have achieved a certain level of achievement that very few people have. In basketball, I don't know in other sports, but in basketball, less than 3% of high school players ultimately end up playing in college. Less than 1% of all high school athlete basketball players get to play or be a part of a Division I program. That is elite. That is very, very elite. But what is the message here, okay? The message here is twofold. One, a lot of these athletes have been practicing, training, putting in work, doing extra effort, doing extra work, being dedicated to their craft. Some of them since, 4 or 5 years old. Nate, my son Nate, started in the YMCA, I want to say in kindergarten. and now he's a senior. So for over 13 years, 13 years since he's 17. So since he was 4, with a basketball in his hand, working. Obviously, at that age, he didn't know he was working, but what did he have? He had a goal and a dream in mind, right? And that's how a lot of these things happen. You start with just a goal and a dream in mind. What is that lesson? Visualization. You have to visualize what that is, okay? You don't know if you're going to make it or not. You don't know if you're going to get there. You don't know what things might happen in the way, along the way, but you have it in your mind, okay? I'll go back. I'm getting kind of nostalgic because, it's getting to this point. But when he was in middle school, I said, "Nate, who are you?" He said, "I'm Nathan Nguyen." I said, "Okay, you are. We know that already. What do you want to be?" He said, "I want to be a Division I basketball player." I said, "Okay. So every time I ask you from here on out, Nate, who are you? I need you to respond a Division I basketball player." Had no idea if he was going to become one or not. This is in middle school, so like 6th grade. So I would just randomly walk around. We'd be in the mall. We'll be at a restaurant. We'll be at the house. I see him in the hallway. I'll call him on the phone. "Nate, who are you?" "Division I basketball player." Right? It's a process. In his case, it's been a 13-year process. Not knowing what the true outcome was going to be. If you're going to make it or not, is it going to happen or not? Is he good enough or not? And that's probably the case with a lot of the athletes that have signed. I mean, obviously there's some very physically gifted, talented athletes that, it's kind of automatic. They're in basketball, for example, it's, dude 6'8", 6'9", 220 pounds, super athletic. Good for them. They didn't have to work as hard or as long. But I guarantee you they still worked. Right? But it is a process, and not knowing if you're actually going to get to the end result or not. That is the same way in success. That is the same way in business. You just constantly grind until one day it just happens. One day you get over the hump, you tip, you're building, and then all of a sudden it tips over. And now you are on the up. So what does that require? Obviously faith, a lot of these things, belief, trust, but what does it actually require in real life? It takes grit, determination, failure, learning from failure, getting back on your feet, getting up, moving again. It takes all of this without any guarantee that it's going to work. So I got to ask yourself, if you were in my son's shoes, or relative to your dream, if you have not accomplished your dreams yet, do you have what it takes to just grind away for 13 years, not knowing if what you want is actually going to happen? See, that's where a lot of people fail. Right? Not in the context of basketball where you're 4 or 5 years old, don't really understand what's going on. But year 1, you have setbacks. Do you quit or you keep going? You keep going. It gets better. You get better. Year 2, you have a failure or setback. So this time you fell a little further because you're up a little higher. You fell further. Do you quit or do you keep going? Year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, sometimes year 20. You're going to inevitably have failure. Do you quit or do you keep going? And that is the message here, because it takes repetitive action doing boring ass stuff, right? And the ability to do that in spite of failure in order to get to your goals and dreams. It is a very simple formula. There's no magic book, no magic wand. There's no somebody's going to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you're the chosen one. You're going to be the next great guy." None of that. It simply takes doing the boring stuff over and over and over and over again in the face of failure. Experiencing failure, getting back up, and being able to do the boring, 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 boring stuff over and over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some highs along the way. You're going to win games. You're going to win, awards, contracts, opportunities. You're going to get them, right? But that is not what creates the long-term success when you actually hit your dreams. It's the ability to fail and do the boring stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over again in the light of that failure with no guarantee you're going to get the outcome that you want. That is actually the secret. Okay? The sooner you can experience recoverable catastrophic failure in this process, the better off you will be. That is a guarantee. So, in Nate's case, being an undersized basketball athlete, 6'1", still good size, but undersized. He's experienced a lot of failure along the way. Some of them really bad, right? Each time you level up, you're unsure, you're uncertain, there's more pressure, easier to fail. Okay, then you grind through and you level up again. Just like in Tim Grover's book, Winning. Every time you win, you got to constantly keep winning or focus on winning, or else you're going to fail. And that is a learned process. So he would level up, fail big. Work, level up, fail big. Work. So he understands how to cope with failure for the most part and still come out the other side. Unfortunately, for those that are more gifted, that had it more an easier route, they have not experienced catastrophic failure. But when the stakes are higher, it's very hard to recover from catastrophic failure if you've never failed before. Okay? That happened to me. Coasted through school, coasted through everything. Coast, until I hit an area, which I'll share later. And I hit an area, failed miserably, and really didn't know how to cope. It took a long time to understand how to cope with that failure and rebuild. Okay? Had I experienced failure sooner, that coping later on when it really mattered would have been a lot easier, a lot quicker, and I would not have lost as much time. Okay? So the take-home message here on this particular aspect, you D1 athletes, congratulations. This is your day, your moment. Bask in it. You reached the pinnacle of what you wanted through school till now. Okay? That multi-year process, you grinded through. You had the grit, determination to get where you wanted to go. Hopefully you had adversity along the way so that, because I promise you, when you get to college, you leveling way up, D1, way up, and you will guaranteed experience failure. You will guaranteed experience failure. Some of you all who've had challenges along the way, you won't drop that much. You'll understand, okay, this is part of the process. I need to work harder. Some of y'all who have not experienced a failure, you're going to drop. And then all of a sudden, like, holy shit, what do I do? Never been here before. Don't know what to do mentally, physically. I don't have no idea. But here, the stakes are a lot higher. So when you get up here, understand you're going to fail. Your focus now is not to step off the gas like you've made it, but actually your focus here is stepping on the gas like you're starting over again, because you will be starting over again. Every time you level up, I think there was an episode I talked about it. You level up, you start over again. You level up, you start over again. It's never a straight line. It's like that. So be adaptable, just like in this elections, just like in the process of failing, just like in the process of growing, just like in the process of doing the boring shit over and over and over again. Be adaptable, okay? And focus on getting to the next level. You made it to a very, 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 very good point, but get to that next level. So in any case, man, a little bit of rambling because there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But with that, I want to thank you all for listening. I'm going to close the show as I close my day. Once I close my eyes, before I close my eyes and put my head on the pillow, I thank God and the universe again for an opportunity to have hopefully made an impact on somebody's life, inspired somebody to live to their fullest controllable potential. With that, I want to thank you all again. Do this on my own dime, on my own time. So if you found any value, don't owe me a karmic debt. Share the show. Any value at all, share the show. Share the show. If you're knowledgeable, share the show. That is how we grow. Now, also, I didn't mention this before, but we are running that massive cancer campaign. In fact, I'll be in Austin tomorrow. When you hear this, last week, giving a PFAS conference symposium on the science behind PFAS water contamination and its link to cancer. And so my law firm, Westloop Law, again, we've helped thousands of clients across the 20 years we've been in business. We're really rapidly scaling up to help as many cancer patients as we possibly can. Those that have been affected by PFAS in the water, which has been linked to cancer, we're helping these clients potentially recover against the companies that put the PFAS in the water. So join me in that, because the only way to make these companies change is to put that financial pressure on them. And the only way to do that, unfortunately or fortunately in this system, is to litigate them because of the effects that the PFAS has had in causing cancer. So if you know anybody with cancer, or if you've been affected by cancer, please do reach out. DM us on this platform, any other platform, or go to PFAS Lawyer on X or PFASinjuryattorney.com. So with that, I want to say thank you very much again to all you D1 athletes. Congratulations. Enjoy your moment in the sun. And with that, be great today, but be even more grateful. Looking forward to bringing you another episode very, very soon.